introduction to the course. So I'm Manideepa. I'll be your lead instructor for this course. Along with me, we will have three other instructors. Praveen, Nitish, and Arshpreet will be there. And other than us, you'll also have two TAs this term. So you'll have Devanshu and Srijak. So they'll be conducting the TA sessions. I hope all of you are able to see all the session links in the calendar, right?
Yes.
If you
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
If you haven't added it yet, please add it to your Google Calendar, okay? Let me just share my screen quickly. So today I'll just give you, yes, come on in. Okay. So today I'll just be giving you an overview of the course, what all exams we'll be having, what's the syllabus, and we'll also start with a bit of theory for week one. So for week one, the deadline is on this Sunday. So we have one session today and we have another session tomorrow. So please join that one also. So today we will be trying to complete the theory of week one, which is not a lot. And tomorrow's session, we can take your doubts and we can do the practice assignment and the activity questions. Okay. So in CT, in total, we have 12 weeks of content. Is my screen visible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks. Okay. So let me just go through the content one by one, week wise, right? So see, mainly in CT course, what we do is this is a precursor to programming, right? So next term, when you'll be taking Python, this course will help you a lot in actually coding in a particular language. So in CT, we won't be coding in any particular high level language. Like mute yourself if you don't have a query. Okay. So like I was saying, in CT mainly we'll be dealing with, first of all, we'll start off with flowcharts, which is just a pictorial representation of how an algorithm is written. Then we will jump into pseudocodes. So throughout this course, we'll be dealing with pseudo. For any exam, quiz 1, quiz 2, and term, these are the three exams we'll be having. So for any
And
of
your
these
voice is
exams,
getting freezed.
No, it's audible.
now it's okay.
Yes, ma'am. You are
Yes,
now.
ma'am.
Okay, thanks. So three exams will be there, right? You'll have your quiz 1 exam, quiz 2 exam, and end term exam. So for quiz 1, the syllabus will be the first 4 weeks of content. So that is the qualified syllabus also. And for quiz 2, we'll be having first 8 weeks, week 1 to week 8. And for end term, we'll have all 12 weeks, right? So like I was saying that throughout these three exams, the one thing you have to be very proficient is in reading and decoding pseudocodes, right? Since we're not actually writing any programs here, we're just writing pseudocode. That is that it is mainly when we write a code in normal English language, right? That you and I can just look at and understand. So writing pseudocodes will start from week 2 onwards. So first week we'll only see what are the different data types, right? How to write a flowchart, what each of the symbols in a flowchart means. So questions will also be based on these topics only. Okay, now about the sessions, in 1 week you'll have three instructor sessions. So first one is on Monday, then you have on Friday and Saturday. All three are from 6 to 8. And for your TA sessions, three or I think 3 to 4 TA sessions will be there in a week. You can check the schedule in your calendar, okay? So all links are given. Now in the instructor sessions, the flow is going to be like this. So on the first day, I will try to, on the first day of the week, that is usually Monday, we will try to cover the entire theory part of that week, right? So
Ma'am,
content for every new week. Yeah.
there is a overlapping of CD session and stat session.
Is it a TA session?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so TA sessions might overlap, all right? The only exclusive sessions are the instructor sessions. So for any two subjects, the instructor sessions will not overlap, but TA sessions might clash. Anyways, all the TA sessions are also recorded, so if you miss one, you can always watch the recording. Okay.
Ma'am, what's
So
between TA sessions and instructor sessions?
instructor sessions are mainly for that is where we actually teach the concepts and we discuss the questions. That is, individually we'll take every practice assignment, every activity question. In TS session, it is mainly for your doubt clearing. Okay, so none of the sessions are mandatory. You only join whichever ones you feel are suitable for you. But I would strongly suggest joining at least the instructor sessions daily, because this is where most of the concepts will get cleared, right?
Ma'am,
And in TS
how
session,
many, sorry,
yeah,
ma'am, but how many days of the week, like which days of the week, will we have CT instructor session with you?
3 days. So you'll have on Monday, Friday, and Saturday, 6 to 8.
Ma'am, we will
Okay.
get the recording of instructor sessions too.
Yes, and all instructor sessions are also streamed on YouTube, so you can also get it from that channel only.
Okay. And I just want to ask one more thing, ma'am. What's the deadline for week 1 graded assignment? Is it 21 or 24?
It is 21, I think. All graded assignments are submission date is Sunday.
Ma'am, actually a
Even on portal
notification came.
24th.
It's
Yes.
Wednesday, ma'am, 24th for other subjects.
On the portal, it is given 24.
I just want to confirm, ma'am.
1 second, let me check. I think for foundation level, maybe they've extended the deadline.
Ma'am, it's 24th,
It's
about.
there in the top right corner.
Yes, ma'am, it is 24, it is.
24.
1 second. I'm not able to see it, but 24.
On the top.
Right.
Okay, so this is good enough time. So we have a lot of time before the first assignment submission. But I think from week 2 onwards, 24 is which day? It is Wednesday, right?
Yes.
So for week 2, I think it should be scheduled by Sunday. So anyways, we'll have to start off week 2 by this Monday. So for week 1, 2 sessions are more than enough because there is not much content. Okay. So next thing is the flow will be like this, that first session, first instructor session of every week, we complete the theory part. Second session on Friday, so you get 4 days in between to complete the assignments and all. At least attempt the practice and graded assignments. So by that time, in Friday, we'll be having a AQ/PQ session, that is activity and practice questions we'll solve. And the last session, that is the Saturday one, is usually where we take your doubts, or we start off with the next week theory, because all content is released every week on Friday. So, yeah. So one,
I just now I am solving the graded assignment. There is a question of a score, but here the comment data of Google Drive, there is a problem. One
yeah, what
card
is
is
this?
missing from the scores, and
I
our
saw
PDF
that.
has
A lot of
actually 30.
people, yeah, a lot of people were talking about that. 1 second, now. Let me show you one thing. Just go to this
Was it a
supplementary.
mark scorecard?
So just go to this not supplementary, go to this course introduction and common data sets, right? So this is, so you are talking about the individual cards in this, right? This course, this one.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Individually.
ma'am.
The
And
whole
there is a
PDF, there
score
are all
PDF also,
records.
but
Yeah, so what we suggest is that you go through this PDF instead of the cards individually, right? Because that is very time consuming also. You don't want to go through one by one cards. That's why this PDF is given. Cards are just for, for you to see that it is the same things that we are using as the profs are using in the videos. But for solving questions, refer to this chart, okay? Here all the
Hello,
cards are. Hmm.
ma'am. In which section we have to take 250?
Where did you find this chart?
Okay, 1 second. 1 second. First of all,
That
this
60 numbers for
chart
me.
is coming from this course introduction. Go to common data sets, click here to view the data, then you can get all the PDFs for every data set. Now, regarding that question about the graded assignment, so this particular question we get every term. That question is not wrong. Just think logically what the question is asking, try to solve it. I will discuss it after the deadline is over. But that question is not wrong.
Mm. Ma'am, where to take 250?
So,
Ma'am, where to take 250? 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250. 250
Yeah, I can't help you, right? It is a graded assignment. So after
No, it's
the,
the activity question.
oh, you're asking about the activity one.
Yeah,
Which one? Tell me, week one, which activity?
just a moment.
See, these are the data sets that we'll be using throughout the course, right? We have sports data set, Olympics, library, shopping bills, and words. Okay, so these five,
Ma'am,
six data sets, yeah.
in A section, we have to take above 250. In B section, we have to take.
Question, you give me the question first. Which activity, which question?
That's the grade assignment question.
It is a graded assignment. I know, as far as I
Yeah,
know, I take
from the graded. Yeah.
graded
That's a
assignment
graded assignment.
won't be discussed before the deadline. This question comes every term that people are saying that this question is wrong. It is not wrong. Read the question carefully.
Ma'am,
What
I
are the
was
conditions?
asking that I wanted to download the PDF, but it is
Hmm.
downloaded in zip format and it is not opening in man.
Which PDF? This data set
The
one.
course PDF I downloaded and it is showing zip file and it is not opening in MacBook.
You want to extract the zip, then only you
No, it
can
is not
open.
extracting. No, I tried very much.
Then you can just take a screenshot of it, paste it on a doc, and get that. That is also
Here
fine.
it is showing like that, but it is not showing for me. It shows zip file.
Open it at all. Whatever you're using. I'm not getting this PDF. I can just
Ma'am, you
download
are
it
not
and
audible.
now am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this should work for everyone. I mean, same things we use every term. But if you're still not able to get this PDF, I can send it to you on Discourse. So just the qualified student or foundation student.
I am foundation student. I joined through JE Based.
So you have Discourse access.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, we are unable to access the discourse forum.
Why? What's the
Like it is not opening. It is like it is coming that discourse will be opened by invite only.
that is not for qualified students, only for foundation students discourse is there. For
No, I
qualified
am a
students,
direct. No. I am a direct JE entry foundation student.
you have tried login in through your student ID and password, right?
Yes.
Is it showing invite only?
Ma'am, I also can't log in the Discord. I am a qualified student. I qualified and I have completed my one term and this is currently my second term.
Okay.
Still,
So
I
discourse for
cannot.
CT you are not able to access.
No,
I
for
cannot access
all the.
maths
Ma'am, there is
or
an
CT or
invite
stats,
link.
anyone.
Ma'am, there is an invite link in the Lucas Studio, in the last page of the Lucas Studio. From there, you can get the invitation and join the discourse.
Okay, but if people don't know about all of that, right? So you can just drop an email to support. Okay, they'll add you. Just put your student ID. That's it, and the password. Even if you don't have the password, just drop them a mail that you're not able to log in. Okay, and for foundation students, we qualified students, we have the G space for discussion. Okay, so this PDF that
Excuse me,
you're not
ma'am.
able to access, yeah,
Ma'am, you had told that we'll have 3 TA sessions per week.
3 to 4. I'm not exactly remembering. I think 3 or 4 TS sessions will be there.
Ma'am, every day there is a TA session
Yeah,
scheduled.
almost every day.
So it's going to happen every day.
Yeah, if it is scheduled every day, then it will be. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't checked the calendar yet.
Ma'am, because like
Ma'am, like
last 2 days there were scheduled sessions, but it did not take place. So
No, the session started today only. So after this, all the sessions
Ma'am,
will.
but then it is overlapping with other sessions.
TS sessions will overlap. There is nothing we can do about it. Only instructor sessions are exclusive ones.
And when will I receive our ID cards?
These operational queries, I cannot help you. Please ask support. Okay, 1 second. Now. I'll just paste this course dataset in the chat box, the PDF itself. You can take it from here.
Ma'am, which code you said about city that we will be learning?
Pseudocode. It is not any programming language. I'll come to it. 1 second. Let me just paste this.
Ma'am, I have received the message regarding the content release of the week 2, but on the portal I can't access the week 2 content.
Week 2 content is not released. It is released today only, I think. Yeah, today
Yeah,
it
ma'am,
is.
like I have received the email regarding the week 2 content release, but on portal I can't access it.
You have the right link for the portal,
By
right?
tomorrow, you will be getting the access of
Tomorrow
week 2.
morning, wait till tomorrow morning. See
Okay,
this,
ma'am.
I have posted in the chat. You're able to access, right? The PDF.
And today notes
Yes,
out
ma'am.
session will be taken.
Yes, ma'am. It's
Yeah, I will take the class only. I just want to get this out of the way first. One second.
Ma'am, for quiz one,
Ma'am, I am
it's
talking about the
one.
doubt.
One by one. Yes, what is the doubt?
No, I have doubt. So today will it be solved or today theory class will be taken?
Theory will be there. And if you have any question, doubts in any specific questions also, you can ask.
Ma'am, for quiz one, it's week 1 from week 4, and for quiz 2, is it week 1 to week 8 or week 4 to
1
week
to
8?
8, first to 8, first 8
Okay.
weeks. Okay. So again, all other questions, let's do it at the end of the class. We need to start with the theory, okay?
Ma'am, when will be the quiz one?
Next month, I think around 19th or 20th. Just right after the week 4
19th
deadline.
July.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with week 1 then. Okay, first of all, anyone can tell me what is the difference between a pseudocode and an algorithm?
Pseudocode is just an English language just to describe what's going on. An algorithm is the key foundation of the program.
Okay. So pseudocode and actual code in any language, what is the main difference?
It doesn't follow any syntax rules or anything.
Correct. There is no syntax, right? We are just using normal English language. So before we jump to pseudocodes, we have to see that how to build that logic, right? So let's say I have a classroom of students, 30 students I have, like in your scores data set. I want to find out who scored, let's say, the maximum marks in mathematics. Okay. So for this, I have an algorithm, right? That means I have to compare the scores of all the students and then I have to keep track of the maximum score in a separate variable. So this logical thinking, that is how to solve the problem, this roadmap to solving your problem is the algorithm itself.
Ma'am, this is not from week 1, right?
What what is not? I haven't started with the content yet. I'm just giving an
Okay.
introduction. Okay. So uh, so that is your algorithm. Pseudocode is when you write down that step by step, that is step 1, step 2, like this will write in pseudocode. That is the pseudocode, just the English version. Okay. Now, when you want to code in some high level language like Python or C, then you have some fixed set of rules and syntax that you have to follow. Right? Like next time when you go to Python, you will be able to relate the same concepts, except you'll have a set of rules that you need to follow when you write the code. Okay. In pseudocode, there are not much rules. So first we will start with flowcharts. Okay. So flowcharts are, see, it is just a pictorial representation of an algorithm or even a pseudocode, you can say. Okay, any algorithm can be expressed in the form of a flowchart. It is the most basic way of learning programming, right? So why flowcharts are not used everywhere then if it is the easiest way to write a program or write an algorithm? Why? Because as long as your program is very small, very simple, like I'm trying to find maximum marks in a class of students, these are very generic problems, right? So for this, you can use flowchart because it is you will be able to draw it, you'll be able to contain it. And even if you want to make some tweaks, it is very easy to maintain because it's a small code, right? If you write this code in Python, it will hardly take 2, 3 lines of code. But as your problem's complexity increases, the algorithms will also become more complex, right? So when you go into diploma level, you will be learning this PDSI subject. So there we'll be discussing algorithms in using Python, right? So you will see that there is something called complexity of an algorithm, right? Timing complexity. So like if I want to, let's say,
Ma'am, I have an inquiry.
sorry, come again?
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Ma'am,
What is asking?
how can make an assignment and send the portal?
How to submit assignment?
Yeah, yeah.
On the portal, this is the assignment page.
Ma'am, end-term exam will be subjective or objective?
All exams are objective.
Okay.
So, ma'am, basically the quiz one and quiz two aren't the qualifier exams.
Quiz one is.
Quiz one is. So it will be in the exam, right? Exam center.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I somewhere hear that the exam are like some exams are done from the home also.
Yeah, those are programming exams. Okay, in diploma level or in Python, like when you take Python next term, then you will have the programming exams which you can give from home. All other theory exams are in center. Okay. Anyways, regarding all of this individually, all of you will get mails regarding all the exam information. Okay. So this is the practice assignment. So you just mark
Ma'am,
this page
is
here.
it sharing screen because not
Ma'am,
visible?
your screen is not visible.
Uh, Ma'am, this is not for Python class.
This is CT.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm not getting the link for the Python. What to do?
Do you have Discourse access? Or if you have any of the instructor email IDs, just drop them an email.
Okay.
Ma'am, what is the deadline for the CT assignment week 1 assignment, ma'am?
You can check all the assignment deadlines on the top right hand corner here, right? It is
24th
24th
June.
of June. Okay. Quickly, let me show you how to submit an assignment. I really have to start with the content, right? Okay, just click on this tick box here. This is a new UI we are having this term. Then you do start assessment, answer all the questions one by one. That's it. Just submit at the end.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So coming back to this. So now let's say I have some 50 numbers. Okay, 50 random numbers I have. They're in any order. I want to sort these numbers. So I can either sort them in ascending order or descending order. Right. Now, why I'm taking this example is because again, in future you'll learn that there are a lot of algorithms to do this simple task of sorting. Right. You will say that if I have 50 numbers, I can individually go through the numbers, compare and sort. That is how we sort usually. But why do we have so many algorithms doing the exact same thing? This is because of this timing complexity, right? Space complexity is also there. So what do these words mean? Timing complexity means how long is your algorithm taking to run, right? Some algorithm might sort your, for example, this is not actual timing I'm saying. Let's say I use this algorithm called bubble sort. Okay, there is an algorithm called bubble sort. So that takes, let's say, some 50 milliseconds of time to perform. Okay, for example. Then I do one more sorting using another algorithm called quick sort. Okay, let's say that takes 20 milliseconds. So obviously you might pick that one. But again, there might be some advantages to bubble sort that quick sort doesn't have. Right? Maybe it takes less space. Right? All the programs that are running, you need to allocate some space to them, right? Where do our these whatever we are doing on a computer, where does all the task happens in the main memory, right? So you have to
Yes,
allocate
so
some
RAM
space.
or ROM? Like, are we talking about the
RAM.
main?
Sorry.
Like, are we talking about the space the program takes in the hard drive or the space it takes to run?
No, spaces takes to run.
Okay.
Okay. So that is the timing complexity of how much time it takes to run any algorithm. So like that, there are multiple algorithms that achieve the exact same goal, but all of them have some trade-offs. So before we move on to all of that, before we write any program, we'll start basic with this flowchart. So 4 things you need to know. Okay, 4 symbols. First is this process or activity box, right? Just a second. Okay. So first is our process or activity box. That is this rectangular box that you can see here.
Oh,
Then we have an arrow.
I think a different screen is.
Ma'am, not visible.
Yeah, actually, I had to turn it off. I'm having a little bit of internet issues. Once it is
Miss, are
settled,
you sharing the
The
Chrome
screen
No,
is
screen?
but
not
I
visible.
think you're
We
sharing
are
the
sharing the
different
first
screen.
screen.
No,
okay,
another
okay.
screen.
I'll just share the entire screen.
Yes, sir.
Now, fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you
Yes,
can
ma'am.
see.
Now it is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it
Yes,
is
ma'am.
visible.
Okay. This is your first box, that is processor activity box. This is where we write the statements, right? So any statement that I'm writing, let's say I want to assign a variable some value. Okay, let's take a variable x. So I say x equals 0. This is assignment operation. This happens in the processor activity box. Okay, any kind of assignment that you are doing, any kind of activity or process you are running, this is happening in the process box. Next, the flow line or arrow, this is what will connect all of the boxes together. This is to show you how the program flow is. Next is your decision box, the diamond box. This is where you ask the if questions, right? So if conditions, any conditional statement will come inside the decision box, right? So whenever you ask a question, in this context, there is either a yes answer or a no answer. So out of a decision box, you will have two arrows at max. So one will be the yes hand, one will be the no hand, right? That is, if this condition is satisfying, then yes. If it is not, then no.
Ma'am, what
And
about
last,
or decision?
or decision, that will also, okay, so or in CT, you will see that we usually use this or and all of these conjunctions within the if statement itself. So it will also come under decision box. Okay, so terminal symbols are the last ones. Look very similar to the process activity box. It's just the rounded edges. You'll see that is the terminal symbol. So two terminal symbols in every flowchart, start and end symbol, right? So usually when we write pseudocode, we won't be writing start and end. This is just for flowchart. So four symbols you have to remember. Now,
Excuse me, ma'am.
hmm,
Every question which has an answer in yes or no, like we will have to add it in the decision box.
look, basically, it will not be so much of a question as a condition, right? You have to ask whether this condition satisfies or not. Okay, let's say, for example, I'm saying that I want to find out the sum of mathematics marks of all girls in the class. Okay, so every time I pick a card of a student, how will I know whether I need to add their marks or not? I need to check the gender attribute, right? So my if condition will be if gender is equal to girl, then I will move on and add the max marks to the sum. That's the condition. If it is a boy's card, then that if condition will be no. So we'll go to the no hand and pick the next card. I'll show all of this using example. Okay, for now, just see the symbols. So process activities box is for set of operations that change the value of variable, like assignment operation. Or like I said that if I want to calculate the sum, so sum is going to be constantly updated, right? I see the first girl, I will add her marks to the sum variable. Then the second person, the second girl, her marks to the same sum variable I have to add. That means this variable is dynamically changing values, getting updated. This is part of process or activity. Flow line or arrow is like I told you, it shows the order of execution. Decision boxes determines which path the program will take. So that is based on the condition, whether it is satisfying or not. And terminal just indicates the start or end of the pseudocode, or sorry, the flowchart. So first we'll take an example now. What is a flowchart for counting cards? That is, let's say I take the scores dataset, right? Now in a scores dataset, every card has some attributes, right? So what are the attributes in a card? So firstly, we have the student name, we have their DOB. What else do we have? We have the town or
Student name.
city they belong to, right? We also have the marks
The
for
math,
maths, chemistry, physics, and the
physics.
total marks. And we have one more important thing, that is the ID, right? Every card has an individual ID, unique ID. So these are all the info in any card in the scores dataset. So in exam, don't worry, we will be giving you the template of one card from each dataset. So you'll not be need to see in the assignments, you can see that there are certain questions which require you to go through the entire dataset and see every card value, right? So those types of questions will not be there in exam. In exam, you just need to know the template of a card. You won't have to go through the entire data set. So the template will anyways be provided. So now my job is that I want to know how many cards are there in this course data set. Okay. So how to do that normal calculation? We have to go through each of the cards and do +1, +1, +1 every time I see a new card. So first symbol that I need to write when I'm drawing the flowchart is the terminal symbol, that is start symbol. Okay. So here you will see this language is used very often, that all cards are assumed to be in a single pile. That is, all cards are in one pile at the beginning of the program. Right? Then we can pick the cards one by one from that pile. We call it pile 1. Okay. This same lingo will be used in your assignment questions, exam questions, everywhere. You can see that wherever we use pseudocode, we will be using this, that while there are more cards in pile 1, pick the next card. So if pile 1 gets exhausted, you've picked all the cards. So once we pick a card from the pile, we don't put it back in the same pile. Right? That means we will be duplicately seeing the same card again and again. So once you pick a card from pile 1, you read that card and you move it to a separate pile, pile 2, pile 3, whatever it is. Okay, so how long will I see that whether I need to count more cards or not? As long as there are more cards in the pile 1, that is the initial pile of cards. So when pile 1 is empty, you can stop your execution. Right? That is, we have seen every card. So first box is terminal symbol start. Now I need to count, right? How many cards are there in scores dataset? So I have to take a count variable, right? This is where I'll maintain that count. So count variable will be initialized to 0. Why? Because currently I have not seen any cards. Currently all the cards are in pile 1. I haven't picked any card. So currently the count of cards is 0. So this is assignment. Now you will see that there is this symbol and there is this symbol, right? This is assignment. This is what? This is comparison operator.
Equal.
Equal to, double equals to, means if I write A equals to B, okay, this means that A is exactly equal to B. If I write A equals to B, that means I'm assigning B's value to A. Okay, so wherever we want to compare two items, we'll be using this comparison operator. So first count is initialized to 0 in a process box, right? All assignments happen in process box. Now you will have an iterator. Okay, so when you learn programming languages, you'll see that there are these concepts of loops, right? So we have for loop, while loop, do while loop, many loops are there. So loops are used why? Whenever I need to perform the same set of operations multiple times, right? That means, let's say I need to count cards, right? That means I just need to pick a card from the pile again and again and again until the pile is empty. So I'm basically repeating the same set of instructions. I'm picking a card, I'm counting, I'm adding 1 to count, and I'm moving it to a separate pile, and I'm picking the next card. So this set of operations that is getting repeated so many times, so that we don't have to keep writing that code that many times. We put that particular set of instructions which is getting repeated inside a loop. That means as long as the loop is running, there is some condition when the loop will stop. Otherwise, it becomes an infinite loop that keeps on running forever. So we have to make a valid loop which will stop at some point. And as long as the loop runs, the repeating instructions will follow. Right. So this is an iterator. That means we need to repeat the following steps here. We have to pick a card from pile 1, move it to a different pile, increment the value of count. That's all. Right? When does the iteration stop? When pile 1 is empty. Okay, so that's our stopping condition for the loop. So where will I put a conditional statement? In a decision box. That is this diamond box we have. So next question you're asking is, are there more cards in pile 1? So pile 1 is your initial pile of cards. The question is, are there more cards in pile 1? Means, can I pick a card or is it exhausted? So we need to pick a card from pile 1, but we can only do that if there are more cards to pick in pile 1. So that's the next question. Now, the answer to this can either be yes, there are more cards, or no, it is exhausted. Right. So we need to write for both scenarios. First, we will write the yes route. So there are more cards. That means I will go this way now. You can put it anyway. You can put yes here also. Okay. Anyways, so yes route means that the condition was true. there are more cards. Whenever condition is false, you go to the no route. So if the outcome is yes, if the outcome is no, that means there are no more cards in my pile. I have counted all the cards already. At that point, you can stop the iteration and come out of the loop and end the program. Right. So you will just directly skip to end terminal symbol. Now, if there are more cards, that is, let's say I have just started counting, there will be all the cards in the pile. Then I'll go the yes route. So there are more cards. Next job is to pick a card. So pick a card X from pile 1. We will call the card X. So that is also inside a process box, obviously, because this is some kind of an activity we are doing. So pick a card from pile 1. Next, your job is what? You will remove that card and move it to a separate pile, right? So that we don't read that card again. So move X to pile 2 is the next step. Now, once that card is gone, that means you also have to increment the count. You just saw a card, right? So next step is increment count. So increment count means add 1 to the value of count. Now what happens after you increment count, you have to pick up the next card. So now this flow arrow will go back to the decision box, this arrow. Right, that means once incremented count, again you ask the questions, are there more cards in pile 1? If yes, again do the same thing. Whenever pile 1 is exhausted, you will go to the no hand and terminal symbol. So this loop that is decision box, still pick a card, then move it, then increment count. This is where the iterations are happening. This is the example of a loop. Okay. Now, so far in the pseudocode, anyone has a doubt?
Can you repeat what is iterator? Your voice was not clear actually.
Iterator, see, iteration means that whenever we are doing this repeat step of instructions, this is an iteration. Okay, that means every time I'm running through this loop is one iteration. Whatever variable I'm using in my loop is the iterator, which we don't need to concern ourselves with right now because we are not using loop variables.
Ma'am, is there a definition for an iterator?
Iteration or iterator, which one you're asking?
Definition for iterator, an iteration.
So an iterator is what? It is a object. You can say it is a programming object. Okay. So this is the object that you use to complete the iteration. Like here, when we write in any classic programming language, let's say if I write a loop in C, okay, a for loop, then I'll say for, I'll take some iterator variable like I equals to 0, till I less than 5, I plus plus. Okay, this is one loop in C language. So here this I is the iterator variable. That means how long will this for loop run? So see, inside the for loop, there are some instructions. These are the repeating steps, right? Think of these steps. Okay, these are here. These are the repeating steps. How long will they repeat? As long as the iterator is satisfying the loop condition. That means I'll start I with 0. And then I will go up to as long as I is less than 5. So after every iteration, I is incremented by 1. So this loop variable is an iterator. I don't want to get into this concept because we don't have it in CT. Okay, we won't be using iterator variables like this. We'll use it in a different context. But iteration is this process. This every time you go through the loop is one iteration.
Ma'am, I have a doubt that why we first move the card and then do the conditioning on it. Why can't we just put the condition after the picking the card only?
And you can put you mean increment, right?
No, not. I'm not talking about the increment. I'm talking about the other kind of condition, like for example, count of girls or etc.
Yeah, then that means what? That means you have to add some more conditional boxes inside this loop. Right. Currently, we don't have that. The next example only is that thing that you're saying. That's some other condition if I want to ask.
In the lecture, usually this condition happens after we move the card to pile 2. So can we do this before moving the card to pile 2?
See, if you don't move the card to pile 2, that just means that the card is still in the same pile. So if you don't move it before the next iteration, we cannot eliminate the chance that you will pick the same card again.
Okay. Okay.
So it is always when you read a card, you move it to a separate pile.
Okay. So
Ma'am,
and then we move the card and then we do the analysis on it.
Yeah.
The
So that's why it is written that read the card and then move it to next file. That means read the card, you are retaining the information from the card.
Ma'am, can I say?
Yeah.
Like first we pick a card and then we read and then move to pile two. Or we pick a card and move it to pile two and then we read.
You first pick a card, read it, move it to pile 2, then you do the
Then
next
we move it.
operations. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
If you already move it and you don't have the information from the card, then it's useless, right? You need to read the card first, then you move it to pile 2. So these are just
Okay.
statements that will be there in the pseudocode. Okay, this is
Ma'am, I
actually
have a
not.
doubt.
Yeah.
Ma'am, in this for loop, if the I equal to 0 condition satisfy, then it will move on to I less
No,
than
no, no.
n.
I equals
Yes,
to
ma'am.
0 is not the condition actually. This is the stopping condition. So this is why I didn't want to discuss, because you don't know the syntax, right? How a for loop is in C programming. So this is the stopping condition. This is the initial state of the variable. That I starts from 0. I can go up to the value I equals to 4 as long as it is less than 5. That means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the values I can take. So that means 5 different values I can take. So 5 different iterations can happen.
So, ma'am, first of all, the condition will be initialization, and then if the initialization is like satisfied, it will go to I plus plus, and then it will go to I less than n. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that means,
And
see, what happens is first you check what is the current value, then you check
yes,
whether
ma'am.
it is less than this value, the threshold
Okay,
value,
ma'am.
then you do the iteration, then you increment I value by 1 and go for the next iteration and again do the same checks.
Okay. After the iteration, we will like go again
Back
to I
to
less
check
than n.
the same
Yes, ma'am.
condition. So
Yes,
here
yes.
I is 0, then after the first iteration you increment I becomes 1. So next condition you will check that now I is 1, so is 1 less than 5? Yes. So that means I can have one more iteration.
Okay,
This
okay.
is
Thanks,
the
ma'am.
differentiating part. Okay, but none of this is required in CD. Okay, because we are not using an actual programming language. We'll just write in pseudocode.
Actually, I have read this in Java, ma'am, in class 10th. I
If you
see.
are familiar with programming languages, then this should be very simple to you.
Okay.
See, first, this step is the initialization step, right? You initialize the variable. So put all cards in pile 1 and set count to 0. This is the initial state of the variables. Then you ask the question, the condition, whether there are more cards. Pick a card, read it, move it to pile 2. Increment count. Again, go check the same condition as long as the condition is wrong or false. Then you end the program. Now, just to make it a bit more interesting, we can ask that flowchart for sum of maths marks. Okay. So till now we were just counting the number of cards. Now I want to know what is the summation of maths marks of every student. Gender wise, they're not discriminating, all students. So for this, see, this was the flowchart for counting. Right now, in this, we can make a few simple tweaks and we can do the same thing here only. Let me show you the final one. Okay. See this code. So first we start here. This is the terminal symbol. Then we initialize the variables we need. So we are finding what? Sum of maths marks. That means we need a summation variable where we will store this sum, right? So that is the sum variable. So set sum to 0. Currently we haven't seen any cards, so sum is 0, right? All cards are in pile 1. Same conditional statement. If there are more cards, yes. Then you pick a card, read it, move it to pile 2. And now that you know the information in the card, that means you know the maths marks in that card. So you just add card X's maths marks to sum variable. So let's say the student scored 19 maths. So now sum will be, it was 0, so 0 plus 90. So like this, you continue for every card, right? So sum variable keeps on getting updated. All the values are getting accumulated into sum. This pseudocode is clear for everyone? Not pseudocode, flowchart.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the easiest part. So from this flowchart part, you will be getting maybe 1 or 2 questions in your quiz 1, right? But CT is mainly, we will be focusing on pseudocode, which is starting from week 2. So that's why I'm saying 2 sessions are more than enough for week 1. Okay, it's very simple content. So
Ma'am,
these are the, yeah.
you said about the I is equal to 0 first, and after some time, I becomes the number of cards, right?
What is I? Is it your count? If you're
Yes,
taking the
count.
count of cards in hand, yeah. If you have n number of cards at the end of execution, I should be equal to n. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see the steps. First, your terminal symbol, then your initialization, then you see if there are unvisited cards. If yes, then you pick an unvisited card, mark it as visited, update the variables. Loop continues till the unvisited elements, there are no unvisited elements left. So then you end it. Okay, this is the first slide. Now let's go to the next one. That is, now we'll be adding the filtering techniques, right? So filtering means what? We are just adding some new filters, right? When you are checking for, let's say, doing some shopping online, so I'm checking for t-shirts, right? Then I can add, right, that I want t-shirts that are in a certain color. So that's the filter I'm adding. Same way here, I was calculating what marks of students. Now here I can add a filter. So flowchart for that same sum, but with filtering. So now my new problem is sum of boys' maths marks. So I have to filter out which cards belong to boys and only take their marks. So this was the previous pseudocode, right, where we were only calculating the sum of maths marks of all students. Now where can I enter this filter? That is, every time I pick a new card, I want to apply this filter on that card, that whether this card belongs to a boy or a girl. So somewhere inside the loop, I have to fit in a filter. So that can be here. So once I pick the card, read it and move it to pile 2, I can ask, is X a boy? Right. This is another conditional box. So here also two answers possible. Either it's a boy's card or it's a girl's card. So X is a boy, yes. Then add card X as math score to sum. Okay. If X is a female, that means nothing. You will just have to go back and pick the next card. So for that, what should be the, the no hand, how should it work if it is not a boy's card? Right? If it is
Ma'am,
a
I have
boy's
a
card,
doubt regarding this.
hmm.
Miss, ma'am, if we take X is a boy before move X to pile 2.
Listen, one more time I will explain this thing. These two steps are there. No? Just pick a card X and move it to pile 2. These are just English language steps. You do not use them anywhere in programming. Okay, this is just so that you know we are not using duplicate cards. That is, every time a card is read, it is not put back in the same file. It is put in a different file. Right. That's just why it is given. Doesn't matter in which order you are doing it. As long as you are reading the card and marking it as read, it is fine.
Ma'am, what does actually
Okay.
pile means?
Pile, see, I told in the beginning that all cards are in a single pile. We consider that pile 1 has every card in the data set initially. And we
So,
read
ma'am,
the cards
how
from that
is there
pile.
any limit like we'll take check for only 2 pile or we can continue?
There is only a single pile in the beginning. All your cards are in a single pile. So, like in the scores data set, I have 30 cards. So, all 30 cards in pile 1. Now, you pick out one card from pile 1, read it, move it to a separate pile, a new pile. Okay. So that we don't read that card again. Just that's the idea. You have to uniquely identify all cards, right? You cannot read the same card again and again.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Pile 2 is a separate card where the
Pile is a
numbers to
separate
be
pile
filled up.
itself. It is an empty pile. It has nothing. When I read a card from pile 1, I just move it to a separate pile so I don't read it again. That pile doesn't have anything.
Okay, ma'am, got it.
Ma'am, what is mean by filtering?
Filtering. See now, this is the question we are asking here. So we said that this was previously the pseudocode to find the sum of maths marks, right? So here there was no condition imposed on it that whose maths marks, boys maths marks, girls maths marks. So we didn't do any filter according to gender. We just calculated the sum of maths marks of all students, right? Now I'm saying find the sum of maths marks of boys. So this gender discrimination, whenever we are doing this, that gender is specified. right? So this is your filter. So now I have to filter out those cards which are belonging to boy students. So for that, now I'm adding another conditional statement here, where every time I pick a card, I will check whether this card belongs to a boy. If yes, then only add their math score to the sum variable. But what if no? If it is a girl's card, then what you do? You do not add their sum to their max marks to the sum variable, right? So you just have to ignore that card and you have to pick out the next card and again check if it belongs to a boy or not. So
Ma'am,
then,
ma'am, if the card is separated and it is selected to the pile 1 to pile 2, ma'am.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, at
Ma'am,
what step the card gets rejected?
Which card gets rejected?
Ma'am, if a card X is a girl, then at what step will it get rejected?
Here only, that is what I was going to show, that if X is not a boy, so there will be a no hand here, right?
ma'am,
Ma'am,
So, second. If this card gets rejected, nothing to be done if X is a girl, right? That means here the no hand is, if X is a girl, directly go back to this step and pick the next card. So that card doesn't do anything. As soon as it is rejected, we go and pick the next card.
if the card is not a boy, then will we place it in pile 2 or not?
Where is the, okay, you tell me, where is the condition being checked? Is it before moving to pile 2 or after?
Okay, after moving to pile 2.
Simple. You read a card, move it to separate pile, then you do everything you need to do in the program. Why do we put it in a separate file? Just to make sure that you know it is a marked card. We have already read it. Don't want to read the same card in the future. Okay. So if it is a girl, directly go and pick the
Can
next.
we use two decision box consecutively one after one?
Yeah, sure. If you have nested if conditions, nested conditional statements, you can use.
No, in this flowchart, if we take two decision box one after one consecutively, means
Which boxes
more
you
cards in pile one, then X is a boy. After that, pick a card X from pile one.
No, these two conditions don't make any sense together. First condition, you're asking whether there are more cards. With that, how can you check whether this card is a boy or not? You haven't picked a card yet. You're just asking if there are
Okay,
cards to
okay.
be picked.
So we can interchange in between, means X is a boy and move X to pile two.
Not required, right? Just follow this format because this is what we will be using throughout the course. Yes, if you do it, it is not wrong. It is conceptually not wrong if you move the card to pile 2 later on. You can also do it at the end of the loop. That is also fine. But if you remember a particular structure, you will be able to familiarize with the exam questions.
Okay.
Ma'am, what we have more than 2 piles?
Ma'am, what is the difference between flowchart with filtering and flowchart without filtering?
What did you understand what a filter is from this example?
Condition.
So, can I have condition boxes in a flowchart?
Yes, ma'am.
That is the condition box is the flowchart with filtering. Okay. That means wherever you are using an extra filter, like if I am taking all students into consideration, then it is not a filtering. If I'm taking every card I have, it is not a filtering. If on that data set, I'm taking a particular set of students based on something like people who have scored greater than 200 overall. So that is a filter I'm putting on this data set. Okay. Both
Okay,
are
ma'am.
flowcharts.
Thanks.
This is just an
ma'am,
extra.
uh, uh, can we use any operation for the box?
As long as it is an activity or a process. If it is a condition, then you use the condition box. Other than that, all operations happen in process box.
So we can use addition, subtraction, multiplication, and
Everything, yeah.
division.
All arithmetic operations, logical operations, everything happen in process box.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's say I want to find the sum of both boys and girls marks, both of them. So we will start with the terminal symbol. Now I want two separate summations, right? I want a boy sum and a girl sum. So I will introduce two variables now, two different sums I'm counting. So girl sum set to 0, boy sum set to 0. Assignment is done. Next you ask whether you have more cards in the pile. Then pick a card, read it, move it to a separate pile. Next you check if X is a boy, right? If he is a boy, yes, then add the current card's mathematics score to boy sum variable. If X is not a boy, that means X is a girl. So you go to this arrow and you add card X's math score to girl sum variable. So this is where the filtering is happening. If it is a boy, add to boy sum. If it is a girl, add to girl sum. And either way, you have to go back to this conditional statement again. When will we stop? When there are no more cards left in the pile. Then exhausted pile. So you go no end. No more cards to pick. This is just variations of the same pseudocode. Okay, just showing you with more variables.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Hmm.
Ma'am, first of all, we will pick a card X from pile 1 and then we will see its data. Na? After seeing the data, we will move the card to pile 2. But here,
Yeah.
like we are doing pick a card X from pile 1 and then move X to pile 2. First of all, it shouldn't be like pick a card X from pile 1 and check if it is a boy or not.
All of
And
that
then
is not
move
going to
the.
be written in pseudocode. You're not, see, it is in English, but it is very brief English. Okay, it's not going to be that intense that every little step will be written. You have to understand if I'm picking a card, I'm obviously going to read it. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
This is just technical. Okay, same way when you write a loop in any programming language, you don't write exactly what is being done, right? You just write the technical terms.
Okay, ma'am.
That same thing here. It means that it is being read before moving. So in some of the pseudocodes, it will be written also that you pick a card and read it from pile 1, then move to pile
Okay, ma'am.
2. Okay. So that's this slide. So anyone has a doubt till now? This pseudocode? Flowchart again, sorry.
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, instead of
No,
using
ma'am.
pile 2, can we use another one can we create
You
another pile?
use any pile. You use any pile. Okay. Pile is pile 1, pile 2. These are just variable names. Anything you use is fine.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Now this is important. Okay. First, let's learn about what are data types. So there are some principal data types and then some data types are derived from that. So data type means what? Every variable that we are using. Okay, like this X variable, A, B, C, whatever we are using. Every variable has some data type based on what data it is storing. So let's say I have a variable X in which I stored the value 10. So what type of data is X storing? Integer type of data, right? So I can say the data type of X is int or integer. Now let's say in that same X, I decided to store this. Just one character.
String.
Okay, that
But
means,
it's a string, right?
yes, one character inside a string. That means X is what type of a variable?
String.
String type. If I assign just a character, then it's a char type of variable.
Ma'am, what is a string variable?
String
Ma'am,
means
but
that I'll come one by one to all the variables. Okay. Right now I'm just saying what are data types. That means whatever data you are putting or storing inside a variable is the data type of that variable. So mainly we will be learning about char, string, int, boolean. These are the different data types. See, one by one we'll see. So why we are studying this part is because we learn about something called sanity of data. Sanity of data means, let's say I go to the market and I say, give me 1 kg of t-shirt. That's not how you buy t-shirt, right? You will either give me 2 t-shirts, 5 t-shirts. So there is a unit that we use, right? I won't go to, let's say, okay, any example you can take. That I cannot say that I will buy, let's say, 1.5 pants. That cannot be how you quantify pants, right? So this is what sanity of data is. So we organized our data set into cards, right? Every data set is in the form of cards, whether you take shopping bills, library, scores. So each storing one data item. So each card has a number of elements. Example, let's say in the scores data set, we have these maths marks, chemistry marks, physics marks. These are all what? Numbers only. If I have scored 60 in physics, what is that 60? It is a number, right? Or if I have my name in my card, the scores data set has the student name also. What is the name? It is a sequence of characters, right? It is a string. So we observed that there were restrictions on the values each element can take. For example, can I say that I have scored 300 in chemistry if the exam was out of 100? So that is an insane data, right? For example, marks range has to lie between 0 and 100. Again, names will not have special characters, right? So there are certain constraints on the kinds of operations that we can also perform. Like I cannot say that if I have this variable, let's say A and B, okay, I cannot try to perform an arithmetic operation on these two string type of variables. If I say A and B are string type, arithmetic operations I cannot do. For that, I need integer type variable. Right. So that means that there are constraints on what type of operations also we can perform on a variable. So compare one name with another. So this is where Boolean comes in. So Boolean data type is what? Whenever we ask true or false. Okay. So for example, if I ask you that, okay, let me write a conditional statement. So if some X card I have picked from scores dataset, if that student's maths marks, so if X dot maths is equal to 90. That is, if this person has scored exactly equal to 90 in maths, then I will do something. Okay. So let's say then I will set the flag variable to true. So that means flag was initially, let me initialize flag as false. So initially flag is a variable which had the value false stored in it. Whenever a variable has either a true value or a false value stored, it is of Boolean data type. So here after this initialization, I'm checking whether the maths marks of the current card is equal to 90. If it is exactly equal to 90, then I'm changing flag value to true. So this doesn't make any sense. I just wrote a few lines just to show you that what is Boolean value, right? So Boolean values can change or update based on such conditions in a program environment. So any true false value means Boolean type variable. Now Boolean type variables also let you compare. Okay. That means here, what? Yeah.
Ma'am, you have initialized flag as the default value false.
Not able to hear you. Come again.
Ma'am, flag you have initialized default like false.
Default, I have just initialized it to a false value. Yeah. Okay. That means flag is already a Boolean variable. Next, I'm saying that, okay, let's put some random condition. If the current card's maths marks is 90, then flag will be set to true. So this type of, you can compare one person's name with another. So let's say I pick two cards, X and Y. Okay, both cards have some person's name on it, some student's name on it. So I will check that X dot name is equal to Y dot name or not. That means do these two people have the same name? Okay. So this type of comparison operation, whatever result this yields. So if these two people X and Y have the same name, then this will give true value. That is X name is equal to Y name. And if it is not, they have different names, then it will generate a false value. These are Boolean type of values. So now, as by associating a data type or simply a type with a data element, we can tell the computer or another person how we intend to use a data element. So that means whenever I have an integer type of variable, you instantly know I can do arithmetic operations on it. If I have some kind of, let's say, comparison to do, I instantly know that the result will be in Boolean, either true or false. So just by seeing the data type, you can tell a lot about what I intend on doing with that variable. So what are the different ranges of values that element can take? Like if I have an integer type of a variable, so there is a fixed range for integer variable, right? So for like that, we also have a string, I'm sorry, float. Float variables are also there. Float means what? Decimal point. So
Decimal.
whenever I want to store some decimal point related value, I'll store it in a float type of variable, right? That means that value itself is a float type. So like 32-bit signed integer. It ranges, like, it's a huge value, some 2147, starting with that, like negative of 2147 something something to positive of that same value. So that's the range that an integer can take. So if you want, let's say, so that value of normal 32-bit int is some 10-digit number. Okay, it's a huge range. But let's say I want to go outside of that range. I want some even bigger number. So where will I store that? Can I store that in an integer type of variable? No. So I will again go to the next data type, which is long integer. That lets you store even bigger values. Right? We don't have that many data types in CT because we're just learning the basic ones first. So we'll deal with int, char, string, boolean. Mainly these four. Okay. Now see what each of these are. Basic data types. First we have boolean.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can we do any operation on the float data type?
Yeah, float also you can do.
What operations?
Same arithmetic operations you do on integer, you can also do on float. Floating point multiplication, subtraction is there. Okay, but
So
again,
if we can do operations on float data type, then why do we have to convert those that data into integers?
No, you don't need to convert. If you want the result in floating point, you can keep it in floating point. That is totally up to you. If you want to convert to integer or not. There are plenty of instances where we use just floating point variables.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so
Can
what?
we can we do
Mhm.
operation of strings?
Yes, string operations you can do concatenation. String operations you can also, traverse a string or check if a character is present in a string. Lots of operations are there. I'll show you one by one. See, first is our Boolean data type. So it has only two values it can take, either true or false. Right? This is the simplest one. What are the operations you can perform? You can perform AND or OR operation. And the result type is Boolean. Okay, so let's try to understand this using binary. Okay, that is very simple. So binary, we have 0 and 1, right? So are any of you aware of this AND OR operations on binary?
Yes, ma'am. And is a
Yes,
compulsory.
ma'am.
They both
Yes,
have
ma'am.
to.
Yes,
So if I write 0 or 1, what is
one.
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 One, ma'am.
well?
Zero
True
means
well.
false and
0
one means
means false,
valid.
1 means true. Right. If I write 0 and 1,
Zero.
then it is
Zero.
Zero, false.
Zero.
Zero.
the same thing. This is the Boolean result. Okay. Whenever you do this type of operations or and these type of operations, or you are even doing a comparison operation, like I said, with double equals to, always the result type is Boolean. So this is the application of Boolean variables. Now, this one is what you will
Just
see
show the
throughout.
slide once more, just once. This slide. Okay, yeah.
So this data
Excuse
type,
me, ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, in 11th and 12th, I was actually a computer science student, so we learned Boolean as a subset of integers for the same reason we use 0 as false and 1 as true. So is
Yeah,
it the same thing we follow here?
yeah, same thing.
Okay.
See, here only Boolean you will see, since in CT we are not going to be doing much of, see where it is used mainly and or we learn in digital electronics, that part, right? But in CT we are just going to use Boolean mainly in comparison operators. Or if I want to, let's say, combine two conditions. Let's say I want to check if a card belongs to a girl and that girl has scored above 250. So I will join these two conditions inside an if statement. So let me take an example. If I write if x dot maths, that means this person's maths marks, is greater than 80 and x dot gender is equal to male. Now what can be the possible results? If I find a person's card who is a male and has scored, let's say, 85 in maths, for them both the conditions are true. So true and true. This gives Boolean value true, like 1 and 1.
Yes.
Okay, the same thing. So Integer data type, see, this is the range. So 0, -1, -2, -3, like this, up to that 10-digit number I was talking about. So 2417, something like that it starts with. So negative of that. Same range, it will go in the positive direction as well. So integer has a huge range. What are the operations you can do? Normal integer operations. Every arithmetic operation you can do. The result type of two integers is always going to be an integer. Okay.
Can you explain the 0-1 binary in the above example?
Which one?
The math one example. 0-1 case. Like true false case.
So here, let's say if I pick a card of a person who has scored 17 maths and is male. So for that, the first condition x dot maths greater than 80, this will fail, right? Fail means false value or 0. And the gender is still male, so it is true value or 1. So 0 and 1 is 0. Right?
Yeah.
But if I had an or, then it will be a 1. That means either false or true.
Okay. All right. Well, I got confused because in the Python false true is different. That's
Yeah, I understood. So that's why, I mean, CT is taught in the first foundation level because so that you can handle those languages later on. It is just a precursor to programming, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Next we have this thing. See, there are constraints on division. Why? Because we are saying that every integer operation that we perform on two integer variables, okay, that will be giving a result which is also of integer type. So that is true for plus minus multiplication. But when we go to division, we can also sometimes get this remainder, right? So if I do 22 divided by 7, that is going to give 3.3 something. So what about that? That is not an integer, right? So we change the definition to take only the quotient and drop the remainder. So why that? See, usually in CT we are following this. This is not universal. Okay. It is not that every time you need to use a decimal point, you will just drop it. No, you will use float variables. But float, we are not using in CT. So that's why we are not explaining that in details. But yeah, you can handle such operations using float. There is also something called typecasting. I'm sure a lot of you already know. Typecasting means when we change a variable's data type to another data type. So I can change an integer variable to a float variable or a float variable to an integer variable. So that also you can do. But again, not in CT. We have none of these concepts here. So integer and Boolean is done. Next, we have character. So what type of values does character take? Any alphanumeric characters, even special characters, right? So A to Z in uppercase, lowercase, 0 to 9, any character, any special character. So only one single character is a character variable, right? A character data type, I'm sorry. Any
Ma'am,
of
I
these
have.
values you can take. Yeah.
Ma'am, in a student's mark data, do we want to use float or integer?
Integer. See, here in the data type, the data set that is given to you, the scores data set, all values are in integer only. You won't see any decimal points.
Okay.
Right? That is because we are not using float here in CT.
Can I ask one doubt?
Hmm.
Here you tells that character contains alphanumeric values. So can we tell that the string is a subset of the character data types?
So for that, you need to ask that what is the difference between string and character? Okay, so character represents a single character, like any letter, digit, punctuation mark, anything. String is a sequence of characters, right? But a single data item or a single character can also be a string if you enclose it within quotes. Okay.
Yes.
In string, we can operate multiplication, division, and all, right?
String operations I will come to when I discuss string. Let's first do character. Okay, I don't want to
So
mix
in
it up.
character, no inverted comma is given.
No, it is not required. So, sorry, in character you can actually use single quotes. Okay, but in string you will be using double quotes. That's the main
Okay.
difference. I mean, in most language that is the syntax that is followed. So
Okay.
a string can also have no characters. It can have it can be an empty string also. Okay, just enclosed by inverted quotes. So what operations can I perform? See, character, you can only do an assignment. Okay. So assignment operation you can do. The result type is Boolean. So basically you can also do one thing, and I think they have missed one more equals to here. So the operation should actually be comparison. I mean, we can compare characters, right? So let's say I take my name. Now this is a string, right? So from this string, I want to check whether my name contains the letter P. This is my question. So what will I do? I'll go and check. I will pick out every character from my name and I will do a comparison. So first character is capital M. I'll check, is capital M equal to small p? No. So that's why the value is Boolean. That is either true or false. So comparison operator you can do with characters. Okay. Now the other data types coming to string and all. I don't think string is also given as a separate data type here. String is not given actually. We'll be using characters only. See, in CT actually characters are also used in much moderation. Mainly we'll be using integer boolean. These two are the main data types we'll be using. In some cases we use character or string where we do this string matching, or let's say if I'm checking for palindrome, something like that. Then we do this, use strings and characters.
Ma'am, can
Now,
you please explain the difference between the symbol for equal and symbol for equality?
this is single equals to, this is assignment operator. Like if I say A is equal to 5, this is the assignment, assigning value 5 to A. And if I say is A equal to B, this is comparison. This means that whatever the value of A is, that is exactly equal to the value of B. Right. So next what we have to learn is subtypes of data types. Okay, so subtype means what? Something that we have derived from the parent data types. Like I have integer, right? I know what all ranges it can take, what all operations I can do. Okay, so from here I can derive something else. In my scores dataset, do I have a sequence number? In every card, do I have a
Yes.
sequence number? What does that represent? Is it unique for all cards or are there
No,
duplicates?
different for different cards.
They are unique.
Different for different cards, right? So just by looking at a card's unique sequence number, I can identify who that card belongs to. So
Yes.
sequence number is derived from integer because see the sequence numbers range from 0, 1, 2 like this. You check the values. So what is the range of sequence number starting from 0 up to however many cards I have? So if I go for my current sports data set, I will say 0 to 29 because I have 30 cards. So that's the range of sequence number. Right. So the max, that is up to which sequence number goes, that can be some large number, like whatever number of cards you have or whatever you are counting, whatever the sequence number is for. So sequence number is a derived subtype. Okay. But see, the difference is whatever operations I was performing for integer, right? Will I ever add the sequence number of two students or multiply? No, because it does not make sense to do that, right? What will I get by adding sequence numbers? Nothing. No meaningful data I'm getting. So none of these operations are actually valid for sequence numbers. Why? Because it does not make sense to do any arithmetic operation on a sequence number data type. Okay, these are subtypes. Like I can also have marks as a subtype of integer because the range of marks is what? For any subject, 0 to 100. For total marks, the range is 0 to 300 because we have 3 subjects. Right. So it is also again a derived subtype from integer. But here can we perform any operation? That's what they're asking. So I can perform plus minus, right? So if I want to find out what is the difference between maths marks of student A and student B, so I'll just do a simple difference of their marks. So negative operation is already there. So plus minus you can use for marks data type. But multiply division doesn't again make sense. You won't multiply or divide the marks of some students, right? These operations based on what is
What exactly does it mean? Like when you say that marks or sequence number, it is a subtype of integer. What exactly
Means
does
the
it mean?
range. The range of values that these subtypes can take are a subset of integer, right? So if I can go from 0 to 100 in marks, right? Marks subtype. So the 0 to 100 range values also fall within integers. So this is a sub-derived data type, right? So whatever range this derived data type can take, it will always be a subset of the parent data type range.
Okay, ma'am. Got it, ma'am. Thank you.
We also check whether someone has scored higher than like student A has scored higher or lower than student B in maths. So for that you can use greater than, less than, all of this. This
Ma'am,
should be
this
double.
equal, yes.
Same here also, it should be double. You don't assign. Okay, count is also one thing we can do as derived subtype. See, count, again, it can count up to n number of values, right? So it can take any value. So usually, if we are staying within that 10-digit range, which is big enough for count, so it can take any value that an integer can take, but only the positive side. Why? Because whenever we count, we are incrementing, right? We are not going in the negative direction, not decrementing. So every time you do +1. So count is also a subtype of integer. On count, can we perform any operations? Yes, you can perform plus, minus, all these operations except multiply, divide, because again, not sensical data. Gender,
Why, ma'am, if on count we can't perform like multiplication?
so addition you can perform if you want to find, let's say I have the number of girl student in a class, the number of boy students in a class. So this is count of boys, count of girls. I want to know what is the total count. So I'll just add the two counts,
Okay,
right? Or
okay.
if I have higher number of girls, lower number of boys, by how many number of girls is the number of girls higher? That you can find by subtraction. So these
Okay,
things
ma'am.
you can. Now, when I have
Ma'am,
character
ma'am,
data,
but in the data set of bill of each stores, they are given the total units purchased and the unit cost per unit. Then it would
that
be
is multiplication, of course.
multiplication would
That
be
you have
possible.
hmm,
And it will be
wherever
count,
the
no?
data makes some sense, right? See, these attributes or these subtypes that I've picked, these are for scores data set. I'm not talking about other data sets. From other data
Okay.
sets, I can derive other subtypes. This is
Okay,
just
ma'am.
based on scores.
Ma'am, we
So,
can find average using the count, right? That
yeah,
is
exactly. You can find sum and count and use that to find the average.
Ma'am,
So, yeah.
ma'am, if anyone has done all the lectures in the course that are recorded, do one has to join this compulsory or uh, he
None
will
of the sessions are
anytime?
compulsory. See, if you think you're benefiting, then only you join. If you have any doubts, then you join. Okay, if
But
you're,
any extra thing is told in these lectures?
it's the same content we are just giving, like teaching you live. That's it.
Okay, okay,
Content is
okay,
exactly same.
okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, are this lecture being recorded?
Yes, it is streamed on YouTube.
So I may just refer to YouTube if I
Yeah, just go to
want
the
the same.
IDM BS degree channel. You can find a playlist for CT May 2026 term.
Okay.
Okay, now coming to character. For character, we already know what operations I can do. Again, this is double equals to. So from scores data set, if I pick the gender attribute, you will see the values are given like this in the cards, right? M and F. These are the two gender values that are there. So again, these are what? Characters, right? So they are a subtype of character. So I can anyway specify these two as characters themselves. So they are just a subset. Right, so gender is a subtype of character data type. It can take either M or F as value. Now, operations, what can you perform? Again, same, you can perform the comparison operation. That if I want to check student A and student B if they have the same gender. So I'll just do A dot gender is equal to B dot gender or not. If yes, then true. If not, then false. So Boolean type of result you will get here also. Now, lastly, coming to string. String is any sequence of characters enclosed by double quotation marks, right? Any sequence. So what are the operations you can do? You can find whether a character is present in a string. Like I showed you that in my name, if I want to find P is present as a character or not. So for that, I can just pick every character from the string one by one and do a comparison operator. So the result will obviously be of Boolean type. Either the character is present or it is not. So double equals to here also. Now, what are the data types I can get from string? You can get names, that is a subtype. So any person's name is a string, right? So any student's name in scores dataset is also a string. But with alphabet characters, there are no numeric characters in someone's name usually, right? So in our dataset, obviously, all names are in only alphabet characters. So they form strings. Same operations that are allowed in strings are also allowed in names, right? Because it's just a subtype. City is also the same thing. See, every city is a string, right? Delhi, Kolkata, these are all strings if you write them down. So they are also subtype of string. Words data set, if you go, you will see that each card contains a word, right? So that word is also a string. What else we can have? Category. In shopping bills data set, you have category of an item. That can also be string. Or in words data set also, if you take the part of speech of each word, that is also a string. Anything that is a sequence of characters is a string and can be taken as a subtype. Okay, but usually we do not
What
learn
about
subtype.
what about the roll numbers, which are a mix of string and integers? What data type it comes in?
Roll numbers, like if they are alphanumeric, then they come under strings. If there is more than one character, usually there is, right, in a roll number. So it is alphanumeric string.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so next we will go on to this
Hello,
transformation of
ma'am.
subtypes. Yeah.
Ma'am, in operator, can we not use the single equal to operator and get the Boolean
Single
result?
equal to, no, single equal to is only for assignment. Okay, that is given wrong here. For comparison, always use double equals to. In CT, at least we'll be following this.
I mean, string we can use assignment operator.
Yeah, as you can assign a string to a variable, that is completely fine.
Yes, because if we change the value from one value to another, then
But see,
assignment.
assignment does not give a result, right? That is just an assignment. Comparison gives a result. So that's why I'm saying this is wrong, because the result type is Boolean. When you assign a variable a value, it will not give you true or false back. It is not a question or a condition. That is only for comparison. So transformation of subtypes. See, all of these things that we are learning in week 1, the subtype thing you will notice will not actually be using in the course. Okay, this is just to give you an idea of how data types work and that there can be multiple types of data types. So that is why we are using it, is because you'll see in the questions itself, we are just working with the attributes. So you should be comfortable knowing what is the data type of each attribute. So you don't compare gender with some numeric value, right? So there can be any attribute, you just need to be familiarized with that. So for that, go through each of the data sets one by one and just familiarize with the template.
Ma'am,
Hmm.
where will we be able to view these PDFs?
So these are in the supplementary contents you have in your portal. So under supplementary contents, you can find PPTs and slides. So there you can find all 12 weeks of slides.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So another subtype that we can have from integer is date, right? So date can be a subtype of integer, like range of values. So if I say how it is a subtype, so here now we are changing something. We are assigning a numeric value to every day of the year. Like I'm saying, 1st January is the 0th day, right? So 1st of Jan will be considered day 0. 2nd of Jan will be considered day 1. Like this will continue. Till what? The last day of the year, right? If it is not a leap year, what will be the last value? 364.
364.
Right, this many days I can have. If it is a leap year, then it will be 365. So max it can go up to 365. So that's why the range of values is given as 0 to 365. if this is how you are writing, that is, we know what each value represents. If I say the range, if I say the value 3 from dates, you know that actually represents 4th of Jan, right? So again, these are not very useful in the context of the course, but yeah, for the first week, we have these things. Just to familiarize ourselves. So people might get confused later on what is the data type of date of birth. So usually date itself is a data type. So that you will learn in more advanced courses. Right now we won't discuss. But date usually has a
Ma'am,
data type. So yeah.
ma'am, in the previous slide, like if they had asked like what is the integer thing for 15th August or anything like that, then we'd have to calculate from first Jan to that.
Yeah, so that is very cumbersome, right? If you don't have that done already in a
Yeah.
table. So we don't actually use this. That's what I'm saying. It is just to familiarize you
Okay.
that this date data type is a subset of integer. I mean, it can be used as a subset of integer. So what can you do if you know this value? You can either print the value. Nothing else you can do, right? I can just print the date, 1st Jan, 1st Feb, whatever I print. If I say print 0, 0 represents which date? 1st Jan. So in your mind, you have done this transformation that 1st Jan means 0th day, 31st means 1st Feb. So like this. Obviously, we are not going to be applying this here. I mean, in actual problems, you won't see us doing this. Okay.
Ma'am, I guess there was a question in activity
Yeah,
related.
activity questions you might get one or two, but activity questions are solely based on lectures. So whichever lecture we're discussing this, only in that lecture you might find some questions. That's why I'm going through it once so that you can understand how to answer.
Okay, ma'am.
Or let's say if you want to check that whether some date is higher than another date, like higher in the sense that what? See, if I say that 16th of June and 16th of January. Which one comes later? June comes later. So I'll write 16th of June is greater than 16th of January.
Excuse
Why?
me,
Because
ma'am.
the corresponding
Hello,
values are greater. Yeah.
ma'am. I just want to ask that, ma'am, is there any attendance issue or not? Like we have to join all the classes?
No, no, there's no attendance.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
So marks can also be like we saw,
Excuse me,
0 to
ma'am.
100, that's the range. What about fractional marks? Right? If someone gets
Excuse me,
marks in
ma'am.
decimal point. Yeah.
Ma'am, would you please take leftover doubts in the last 10 minutes?
I'm not able to hear you. Just speak a bit louder.
Ma'am, would you please take leftover doubts in the last 10 minutes, please?
Yeah, sure. You can take.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have some fractional marks like this 62.5, like I told you. So this actually falls under floating point numbers, right? But in CT, we won't be usually dealing with this, but you can deal with fractional values. So there is another basic type of data type for real numbers, which is called float. So our values are going to be only up to 2 decimal places. In float also, we usually are going to use up to 2 decimal places. Very rarely you will see us using float in this course, but even if we do, it will be up to 2 decimal places. So what if we just multiply the fractional number by 100, right? Then the fraction is gone. So then the fractional value with at most 2 decimal places will become a whole number or an integer. So we can do corresponding operations on the integer values then. Obviously, see, all of this is very generic way it is written, right? Everything depends on what is the unit of the item. So if you are having 75.25 in marks, right? And I give you 7525 marks, that is completely different. So that means you have to adjust all calculations according to that. So whatever you do to get rid of this decimal point, make sure that you are in the same unit, right? Anyways, we won't be, again, using all this, just telling you that floating point can deal with decimal numbers. This part is, again, not required, but I'll just go through this once. See, 62.5, we can write this as 6250 if I multiply by 100, right? So they are saying that if I devise a method like this, see, we can do corresponding operations on the integer values that come after multiplying by 100. So remember, everything has to be scaled to 100. So when we finally print the output, we scale the number down and print it. So when I am printing this, let's say 65.25, I have whatever operations I needed to do with this number, I wanted to do that in integer format. So I multiplied the number by 100, got rid of the decimal point, and I did my operations. Now when I have to print the result, I won't be printing in that way, right? I have to again scale back 100 and go back to the original format, then print. So if 62.50 is written as 6250, so when I say print 6250, it has to print back the original thing, 62.5. That means you have to know that this 6250 number is scaled by 100. So as you can see, the applications of this in CT are not going to be there. Amount also same thing. You might have to pay 27.50 rupees to someone. Now if I scale it 2750, this is in paisa, right? Not in rupee anymore. So again, you have to scale it back. Quantity can also be same thing. These are just examples of floating point data subtypes that you might have. So basically, I don't want to have float. So that's why I'm scaling it by 100 to get an integer, so that all of these subtypes can fall under integer subtypes. But originally, they are not integers. Right? So whenever we want to print the original value, you have to divide by 100 again.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
In these, like, instead of calling them subtypes, won't it be more apt to call them as examples? Because in computer science, we really don't have.
Actually, we don't have subtypes. Okay, see, this computational thinking course will have a lot of things that you are not directly going to be using in any programming language. Okay, it is just for concept. You can call them subtypes. You don't have to. I mean, even we don't use these subtypes anywhere in the course, right? We just do it in the first week to see that whatever these attributes are, whatever values they're taking, these values are still a part of the parent data types. That's why these are written as subtypes. Okay. Other than that, obviously, there are no official data types known as quantity, date like this, right?
So,
The
ma'am,
main data
do we
types are
do we need to remember them for the
no. Just do the activity questions and practice question from week 1. Wherever you find this type of question, just attempt it in activity practice. It is not going to be there in exam.
Ma'am, this won't be like this kind of questions they won't ask in this qualifier exam also.
Nothing. Subtypes are not going to be there in exam. This is just for understanding.
Ma'am, I
Basic
didn't
type taken
understand
care
this
only.
let print part. Let print 125 equals to
Yeah,
1.25.
actually, see, that's saying that when I print this number, when it is already scaled to 100, that is multiplied by 100. So when I print this back after whatever operations I needed to perform on a number, I want to print back the original number. So I won't print 125. The original number was 1.25. You scaled it by 100. So again, you have to divide by 100 when you want to print it. So the original print should be 1.25. That means 125 is just representing 1.25 in a 100 scaled dimension. But it is not the same thing, these two. They're
Ma'am,
just
isn't this called normalization?
you can call it normalization also, but see, this what they are calling it is a transformation. Transformations
Oh,
of things. Okay.
okay.
I'm not calling this anything because see, what this actually represents is what we all already know. So if when we were all kids, right, we used to do this rupees to paisa conversion. Say if I have 50 rupees and some 60 paisa, right, and then I want to add this to some other same rupees paisa concept. So we used to take the whole thing into paisa. That is, we used to multiply the rupees with 100 and then add the remaining fractional part, right? That same thing we are doing here. But when we actually give the answer, do we say this many paisa? No, we say in rupees. That means we divide by 100. Same concept here. It is just a transformation. But one more slide is left. So this one.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hmm.
Ma'am, for qualifier, what actually we have to prepare, ma'am?
First 4 weeks of content from every course. Okay.
But still,
Week
this
1.
won't be
But
asked,
just now
right?
you
This
said
complex.
This won't be there. See, I will be discussing before this qualifier exam or quiz 1 exam. We'll have your revision sessions, right? So we'll have 2 to 3 revision sessions. On top of that, we will be discussing every type of question from previous years, okay, in these revision sessions. And also in the tomorrow's class only, you will see when we discuss practice assignment. The practice and graded assignment questions are exactly what will be the type of questions in your actual exam. Okay, so you
Okay,
can
ma'am.
take it from there.
Ma'am,
Same level of question will come. मतलब
Not
difficulty level
same,
will be same.
it will be a little bit more difficult, obviously, but yeah, some of the questions difficulty will be pretty much same as the graded questions.
Okay.
ma'am, like in
Ma'am,
practice,
ma'am, who will take the TA sessions? You or some other
Yes,
teacher?
that Srijas and Devanshu are the 2 TS for CT this time. They will conduct.
Okay.
excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, I almost completed all the this content, ma'am, all the lectures, ma'am, but and practice assignment also. But ma'am, in that practice assignment one, questions are quite different from the lectures, ma'am.
Yeah, that's why we need time to practice in class first so that you get familiarized with such questions, right? You haven't see normally we don't have such courses in our school where we are using data sets or actually using these things that we are doing in CT. So a lot of people are doing this for the first time, right?
Yes,
Once we
ma'am.
have some classes on these pseudocode related questions or flowchart related questions, it will get easier. Okay,
Okay,
just
ma'am.
by
Ma'am,
tomorrow.
excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, somewhere on the grading policy, I saw that we have to grade the both quizzes, that is quiz one and quiz two. So basically, some are saying that qualifying one is enough. Don't need to give the quiz two. So how the marks will be of the scheme? How the marks will be calculated actually?
So this here you can find the. Okay, can you see the portal?
No, ma'am.
Which,
We are able to see that PDF only.
No?
Yes,
See this. Okay. So this is the eligibility. So eligibility to write final exam is average best 5 out of 7 first 7 weeks of weekly assignments and attendance in one of the 2 quizzes is mandatory. Quiz 1, quiz 2, out of these 2, at least one of them you have to attend, right? Because we'll be
So
taking the max score.
So ma'am, it means that we have to attempt the both for the maximum score.
Yes. But
Or
if you don't attempt any of if you don't attempt any of the quizzes, you'll just be getting 0. So the other quiz marks will be considered. Okay.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
the eligibility for the end term is only one quiz.
Yeah, at least one quiz you have to pass.
And what about the qualifier exam by the way?
Qualifier, okay, I'll show you at the end of the class. And just let me finish this slide once. It is same only, you just have to pass the qualifier exam that is going to happen during quiz 1. So if someone fails that qualified exam, then you have a reattempt qualifier also, you have to give that. So qualifiers are always going to be on the first 4 weeks of syllabus.
And that reattempt qualifier is same as quiz 2.
No, it will happen during the time of quiz, before quiz 2, I think. It will happen for those people who are not passing in the first qualified exam. There will be a reattempt. But the syllabus is same. First 4 weeks. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, see, these slides, these are important because now you can actually see the cards and relate, right? So a record, what is a record? A record is also called a tuple or a struct, means it's a structure. So data type that has multiple fields, each of which has a name and a value. So I am taking this marks card as a data type. I'm saying this entire card from sports data set is a data type. So it has multiple fields in it. It has name, gender, date of birth, town, city, all of this. Each field again has a value, right? So marks card here, if this is the name of the field, sequence number, type of fields means data type. Okay, so we saw that sequence number is a subtype of integer. So they are taking sequence number as the data type of the field. So see, all of these data types that are written, these are actually all subtypes, right? Sequence number, This is from integer, marks is from integer, city is from string, names is from string, gender is from char. So like this, the same things that we saw till now, the subtypes are written in this way. Sanity of field values is ensured by the data type. That means if I have this thing here, name, okay. So if name is just going to be alphabet strings, so that means it cannot have any integer values. So this type of sanity of data, this is why we have these data types. So that a particular variable can only take values in a particular range. So in words data set, this is how each card looks like. You have one word present, what is the data, what is the part of speech of the word, how many letters are there, and the sequence number of the card. In like again, if you call this entire card as a data type, words in para, this is a data type. Then the fields are these, and these are the corresponding sequence numbers again. Same for you can do for shopping list, shopping bills data set. So in CT, in the weeks 5, week 6, we'll be learning about lists and dictionaries. Okay, so I won't be discussing much about list right now. We'll do it in week 5. List is nothing but a sequence of elements. Okay, it can be anything. So if I take this marks card list, what is it? It is a data type of our data set of all marks cards. That means every card in your sports data set is forming the list, right? So list basically is a data container or a data structure we'll be using in CT, which means just a collection of items. Okay, they can be of integer type, they can be of string type, they can be of heterogeneous data types, anything. But list right now in week 1 is not required. Record, again, same thing for shopping bills data set they have given. These are the fields, types of fields. See, for items, the type of field is not given, right? Because items can be anything. I don't know what the item is. So for that it is written, see, this is an item, soap, right? So there is a list of items in the shopping bills data set itself. That means item is the name of the field. What is the type of the field? It is a list. That means for every card, I have a list of items. So there is not only a single item that I can write. I'll write a list of items.
Ma'am, what is the difference between the list and record?
Record is this entire thing. Okay, record data type for shopping bills. When I say it means this. This is the record data type. Means each card is a record data type. And these are fields inside the card. Now multiple such
Okay, ma'am.
cards form the list in a collection. So two types of
Excuse me, ma'am, I have two doubts. Can I please ask? Time is
Mhm.
getting over. Ma'am, can you please get to the flow chart with filtering condition slide?
Which
Where we
conditions?
had to count filtering condition flow chart.
Okay, filtering, yeah. Okay, so I think we are done with all the slides anyways. So the summary is just whatever data types we have learned today. So content-wise, that is it for week 1. Okay, if you don't have doubts at this point, you can leave. And please make
Ma'am,
sure
can
to
you please, ma'am, can you please explain again the record and the list, please? Little
record
bit.
is this entire data type. This is the shopping bills. This is a record. That means one shopping bill is actually representing one record. And there are multiple fields under a record. The multiple such records or multiple such cards, they form a list. There is collection of cards or collection of records is a list.
Ma'am, what are these cards? Like, for what will we use them?
You haven't seen the data types. I'm sorry, the data sets that are given for CT. So there are 5, 6 data sets given. You can check them out once. The data
Ma'am, what
sets
is
are
it?
all containing these cards. So using the data sets only, you will get every question in CT. Every question is from some data set.
So, do we have to remember them?
No, no, no. That's what I said in the beginning of the session. In every exam, the dataset templates will be given to you. You just have to know what all fields are there in a card. All the templates
Okay,
will be given in the exam.
okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So
Ma'am,
list is the collection of the records, right, ma'am?
Yes.
And
Collection
the
of cards.
collection of the cards. Okay. So basically the records, right?
Yeah, same thing.
So, but in the record, for example, we use we define the item is also the list type. So how is that?
Yeah, because see, there is a list of items. So when I say item name, okay, for a particular, sorry, here, let's take this. For shopping bills, when I say sequence number, there is only one sequence number per card. So you can give it this. This is the data type of the field sequence number. But when you come to items, there are multiple items in a card like this. Soap, tomatoes, these are all different items. So what is the data type of that? This is an item list. That is list of items in a card. So that's why it is given as the data type is list. Since there are multiple items.
So we can say like record list is a list of records.
List is not a list. Yeah, list is a list of cards or records, you can say.
Yeah, list is a
But
list of.
actually, in this item list, it is not a list of records. Item list is different. Item list is just a list of items in a particular record or a card. In a particular card, there are less than 10
Can we,
items.
can we confer the conclusion that record consists of list and list consists of items?
Not in every scenario. For this scenario, you can say.
Okay.
See, first of all, I don't want to use the word list too much because this is not exactly what list is. Okay, we will learn about lists in week 5. Here it is a bit difficult for me to explain. But yeah, list is a collection of items. Any list is a collection of items. This much we can say. Now there are multiple operations we can perform on a list that we will see later on.
Ma'am, here we can say like the data type of the item is a list.
Yeah, data type of the item is a list. Correct.
Okay.
Okay, which part you asked? Filtering, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, there is a slight doubt. I was yet to watch all the lectures, like video lectures, but my graded assignment is pending for CT. Would this be enough to give that assignment? Because I kind of
Yeah,
have
you can do.
better understanding.
I will ask that you still put the time to watch the lectures because the submission is by 24th, so you still have 5 days. And tomorrow we have one more instructor session, so we'll be discussing the practice and activity questions tomorrow. So after that, you
That's
should be
fine.
able to solve.
That's fine.
Ma'am, we can leave for
Ma'am,
stat.
may I ask now, please?
Yeah, if you're done, you don't have any doubts, you can leave. This is it. Thank you. If someone has a doubt, then
Tomorrow will be doubt session.
Yes, ma'am, I have a doubt.
tomorrow is activity
Ma'am,
practice
continue.
question session. You can ask any doubts. You can also ask conceptual questions, whatever you want. It's an instructor session.
Ma'am, can we drop the course any if it is not manageable now? Can we drop it?
Yeah, right. But I think in the first term in foundation, you have to take CT. It is mandatory. I mean, if you want to
No
move to
other subjects like English.
yeah, that you can do. Sure, you can do it in next term also.
But how can we drop the course?
Dropping it now, I'm not exactly sure. Just ask support once, they will give you the guidelines.
Okay.
Ma'am, computer
Ma'am,
science thinking is compulsory to take in the first
It is a
term.
prerequisite for Python, yeah.
Yes.
ma'am, are we like allowed to participate in ICPC after, like after foundation course or after diploma? Are we allowed to participate in ICPC from this course?
Allowed to participate in what?
ICPC.
Oh, what's that?
Like ICPC is a coding Olympiad basically.
Okay. Yeah, I see. Okay. Yeah, I think you can. After doing Python, at least you should be. Just
Okay, ma'am.
ask your seniors once. I think the people who have done it can help you.
Okay, ma'am.
Or you can also
Actually,
ask
we have to
instructors in Python.
like
Yes.
go from a college. Like we cannot participate other other
Yeah, I
than
know.
from.
So one thing you can do is you ask the instructors in Python once. Once you go to Python in next term, you can ask the instructors. They'll guide you.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, can
Okay,
you
so
provide some extra questions on flowchart?
flowchart, I will tell you. See, the questions that are in PYQ or week 1 activity practice graded is enough for flowcharts. But if you want, I can dig up some old PYQs and give you if I can find them.
Yes, ma'am, it will be better.
But do not spend a lot of time on flowcharts, okay? Because very small percentage of question is going to come from here. Just for understanding, we use flowcharts. I mean, from next week onwards till the end of the course, there will be no mention of flowcharts. So
Ma'am,
that's why.
can you tell me the timeline for the qualifier exam? Like from how many time it will
Next
continue?
month.
Ma'am, as per the
Qualifier
quiz 2, Correct. Yes, ma'am.
This is the best slide for studying also.
See, for any exam
Prices
timeline
pencil
related dates and everything, if you don't have that information already, which should be available to you, you
maybe
can
100 taking the
ask
prices and
support
bunches them.
for that.
No, ma'am,
Okay.
like I am saying, like you said, it's of 1 month, but as per we are going to give the quiz too. So basically, it is comprised of the 12 weeks, right? So 12 week
Qualifier
basically is,
is
Anji?
qualifier is just for first 4 weeks.
Okay. So the foundation one has a two quiz, right?
Yeah. Foundation has quiz 1, quiz 2, enter. Qualifier also has. So if you qualify in the first go only, first 4 weeks, qualifier will happen same time as quiz 1. Then you can enter foundation and you can continue with quiz 2 enter.
So
Or if
basically,
someone,
the foundation, we completed the first part of the foundation, then we
yeah,
will move
see,
on the second part of
syllabus
the
is same
foundation.
only. Yeah, syllabus is same for foundation qualifier up to week 4. So
Okay,
after that
okay.
also the qualifier pass students only merge here with foundation.
All right, understood. That's what my issue and concern was, like how we will complete the 3 months course in the 1 month.
No, it is same for everyone.
Ma'am,
All
for
Just
right,
all
all
4.
right.
the
Thank you, ma'am.
exams, ma'am, for all the exams, the 1 hour for each subject or total.
You will have 1 hour for each subject.
So means if we have taken 4 subjects, total
Yeah,
4 hours.
4 hours exam. Yeah.
But it will be of just one exam or 4 different exams.
I'm not sure about this. Okay. All of this operational informations you can ask support. They will
Okay.
be able to help better. They can give you
Ma'am,
the
when
whole.
is the when is the need of giving SCT exam?
SCT is just a simple system compatibility test. Okay. Mainly it is useful for programming exams, but yeah, you have to do the SCT before all exam now.
So, ma'am, in term 1, we don't need it, right?
SCT is required, right, for every exam, I think. Or for CT, have any of you done SCT? I think it's a system compatibility test, so it should be for programming subjects. I mean, for CT, might not be there. Let me confirm once from support. I'll let you know by tomorrow's class. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have some doubts. Can I ask?
Yeah.
So, the first question I want to ask you is what is iterator pattern? Is iterator pattern the sequence of steps in which we solve a problem or something else?
What is iteration?
No, ma'am. What is iterator pattern?
Iterator pattern is not a part of this. Okay, that is a much high level thing. Iterator pattern is it is a sort of a design pattern basically. It is a behavioral design pattern. It allows you to do things like you can traverse the elements of a list or a graph or a tree without showing the whatever underlying data structure is there. But this is a part of much advanced concept. We are just using iterator and iteration. Iterator pattern is different. You have that in C Sharp, Java, these things.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So,
Ma'am, we use filtration. Ma'am, may I now ask, please?
yeah, that is what I was going to say again. See, this is the example of filter, right? Filter is nothing but when you are shopping for clothes,
Ma'am,
let's
I
say.
understand the concept. I
Hmm.
just have a small doubt.
Okay. Ask.
We use filtration to discard all the unnecessary data and keep the required data. But
Correct.
here we are adding the girls' score as well, and we are adding the boys' score
Yeah,
as
so it
well.
is filter. You don't have to necessarily reject the data. If you need both data but in separate variables, then you can filter out one data to the boy sum variable and filter out the other to the girl sum variable. That is fine. You don't have to reject every data. The filter is checking whether it's a boy or a girl, right? So if it is a boy, then you add to boy sum. If it is a girl, then you add to girl sum. But if you don't need to find the girl sum, then you reject that card. That depends on the problem statement.
Okay, ma'am, another doubt. Um, we've understood that we pick the card from pile 1, move it to pile 2, and then insert the filter condition. But in the tutorial for the same topic, in the tutorial lecture for the same topic, the filtering condition is inserted before placing the card to pile 2. Is that allowed?
Some places that you might see that it is fine as long as you have moved that card to a separate pile before the next iteration starts. In this also, if I exchange these two lines, it is fine, going to work the same.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it from my side. Please join tomorrow's class for the AQPQ session, okay? Don't miss that. Yeah.
Ma'am, may I ask a question or two?
Yeah.
Actually, uh, like I've got a mail saying that week 2 is released for
Yeah, it is
computational.
not showing yet on the portal for some people. Just wait till tomorrow morning, it should be visible.
Okay, and for the second question, we were, I think, um, we were told to fill the medical form, and in that, the medical form asks for the student's application or registration number. So, where can we find the registration number?
Again, I won't be able to give a right answer to this. So better you ask support for any operational related queries like this. Okay, just
Okay,
drop
okay.
them.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. Means there is a data set is
Your
installed
voice is very low. I'm not able to hear anything.
right now. Are you able to
Yeah, yeah.
hear? So in scores data set, there is 11th one is missing.
Yeah, that's why I said in the beginning of the session, refer to the PDFs that is given, not the individual cards.
Thank you, ma'am. That's one.
Okay.
That's okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, everyone. Thank you for joining. Have a
I
good
have a
night. Let's join tomorrow.
hello.
Yes, yes, Jay.
Yeah. So I have a doubt regarding the do you aware of Azure certification?
Which certification?
Azure certification.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I got a voucher of Azure. Okay, so I can take the Azure exam. I have a fundamental knowledge of Azure AZ 900. Okay, so I want to go for the like I'm thinking to do the certification using the voucher. So I have a 4 months validity. So like I have a Linux certification, intermediate certification of LFCS. So which certification should I go for? Do you have any suggestion for me?
Yeah, Azure certification is very good. I would say go for it.
No, so yeah, so mainly they have like AZ104, AI102. So I'm a bit confused on it because AI102 requires prerequisites.
Okay, okay. Let me help you out with this. So if you want to discuss about this Azure certification, if you can just do one thing, ping me on Discord or somewhere. Even in mail, you can ping me once. I will connect you to the people who are actually doing the certifications. Like some of the instructors might be able to help you with this better.
Sure, I can DM you in the. Can I DM in
Yeah,
the?
sure, sure.
Okay, yeah.
Do it.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Where can we find out the discuss link and where email?
Sorry?
Discuss link, ma'am. Discuss link.
Students, they are the deep fit. Any question number you can ask them.
Sorry, ma'am, your audio is not properly aligned.
I'm saying for foundation students, you have Discourse as a discussion forum. For qualified students, you have G Space, so you can ask your queries there also.
And your mail, ma'am?
Sorry?
Your mail.
Oh, my mail. Okay, let me just put it in the chat box. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I've pasted.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
can drop off the call.
Hello, hello. Hello, ma'am. Hello.